Zwom. Doot, 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 doot. BMO.
Hey everyone, and welcome to another BMO Creative crypto video. So this one is about Champ. So if you've never heard this name before, Champ is the name given to lake monsters with over 300 reported sightings living in Lake Champlain, which is in North America, partially situated across the US-Canada border, in the Canadian province of Quebec as well, and across the Vermont-New York border. So it's a pretty big lake. That having been said, there are some accounts which claim that Champ is covered with interlocking silver scales, rather than the usual smooth gray elephant-like skin of the more typical plesiosaur-like lake monsters that are reported. Champ has the reputation of being the American equivalent of the Loch Ness Monster, even though Champ was actually reported long before Loch Ness if you refer to historic timelines. Champ was first brought to international spotlight in July of 1609 when French explorer, the Quebec founder Samuel de Champlain, spotted a creature in a river entering the lake, and he described it as a 20-foot serpent, thick as a barrel, with a head like a horse. He didn't say anything about scales, so I think that's a later thing that people started saying. I think that they're confusing it with a sturgeon probably, but Champ is definitely not a sturgeon. This event marks the earliest European sighting, but Native Americans of the region have long since known of these animals. The Iroquois, as well as the Abenaki, I found, for centuries have told legends about these creatures, and the Abenaki even have a name for it. They call it the Tetuskuk. So there you go. July 1883, while patrolling the northeast portion of the lake, Sheriff Nathan Mooney saw a colossal water serpent from a range of about 150 feet. So in my opinion, that's too close. The animal swelled 5 feet out of the water and was said to be 27 feet long. Mooney and other witnesses were so close they reported seeing a series of oval spots inside the creature's mouth, the roof of the mouth. So keep that in mind. I just said that the creature has oval spots in the roof of its mouth, according to Mooney in 1883. That'll come up later. Over the next 9 decades, reports of these amazing animals have continued. In fact, during the 19th century, P.T. Barnum offered 50 grand as a reward if somebody could kill one and bring him a body so that he could stuff it and show it in his Epic World's Fair. So in July 5th of 1977, photographer Sandra Mancy took a picture with a Kodak Instamatic camera. Then, for fear of being ridiculed of what she took a picture of, she hid the photo until a relative convinced her to show it to the Lake Champlain Phenomena Investigation founder Joseph Zarzinski, who unfortunately trusted and brought the photo to George Zug of the Smithsonian, who are known for taking evidence like this and destroying it, or quote-unquote losing it. But he took it to him anyways, and the Department of Vertebrate Zoology at the Smithsonian, Zug examined the photo and was forced to admit that it bore no likeness to any known animal in Lake Champlain or anywhere else that they knew of. So here's the picture. Experts at the University of Chicago and the University of Arizona, who studied the original photograph, because the negative, of course, had disappeared ever since they gave it to the Smithsonian, they determined that the image had not been retouched or tampered with in any way and seemed to show what they believed to be a living creature. The media frenzy surrounding the photo became so great that it was published by the New York Times in 1981 and in Time magazine of July of 81. So what exactly is the creature? There are numerous theories, from a landlocked plesiosaur that didn't go extinct to a giant rogue soft-shelled turtle or a prehistoric whale or even a sturgeon. A famed biochemist, engineer, and vice president of International Society of Cryptozoology, ISC, Dr. Roy P. Mackle, I'm sure you have heard that name, said it could be an extinct cetacean known as the Zeuglodon or the Basilosaurus. July 3rd, 1994, Dennis J. Hall, who at 9 years old was told by his uncle about a sighting that happened in '65 where it went underneath his uncle's boat. And this guy also served as the head of Champ Quest. He took a series of photos in the Button Bay of Champ, or one of these creatures. In 2003, a team of scientists led by Elizabeth von Muggenthaler recorded a series of high-frequency ticking and chirping noises similar to the sounds dolphin and beluga whales make using biosonar to track their food. There are no known animals that live in freshwater lakes that make those kinds of sounds. So, of course, they have no idea what that was. August 4th of 2004, ABC News reported that Maryland vacationer Bob Glode, as well as 4 of his grandchildren, claimed to have witnessed a black snake-like creature devour a seagull while they were bass fishing on Lake Champlain near the village of Port Henry. So right there in the center is a black snake eating a bird, and right underneath that I put a leopard seal eating a bird, because if you've never seen a leopard seal, their head is very reptilian, and they could have seen a leopard seal, which is what I think Champ is. Anyways, let's move on and I'll show you why I think that. Then in the summer of 2005, Dick Afalter and Pete Baudet saw a serpentine creature that was 15 foot long with an alligator-like head. When they first noticed something on the surface, they assumed it was a gigantic fish surfacing in the water. They trolled over to see it closer and watch it swim quickly away, but it didn't do that. It stopped and turned towards them and then sunk down slowly, which freaked them out. Then they realized that they were not seeing a kind of fish, so they decided to capture some video of the creature. The video shows something large making a wake as it moves across the water. Then what seems to be a football-sized head attached to a serpentine neck closing its mouth as it rises up towards the surface of the water next to the boat. Baudet and Afalter were clear that they had spent years fishing that lake and never saw anything like that before. 8 seconds of the footage, which was first aired on ABC Newscast, has become what many consider to be the best visual evidence for lake monsters to date. Gerald Richards, one of the 2 retired FBI forensic image analysts who were brought in by ABC to analyze the footage, said it was authentic and had not been hoaxed or tampered with. So I said all of that to tell you guys, I saw this video. It was like 20 years ago. I saw the full video those guys posted online. It was much longer than 8 seconds. It was long and had a bunch of footage of them just fishing and talking and trolling over to that area where they said they saw something on the surface of the water, but that part's not on camera, but you could hear them talking about it. Then the camera shows something just under the surface of the water. It flips or rotates and slowly circles the boat. And I do think that it was coming up for air, because you could hear it under their constant talking and freaking out about how big this thing was. You could hear something breathe at the surface of the water, almost like a dolphin does. Seals do that as well. They make that huffing sound, and that you could hear that underneath them freaking out about whatever was coming up to the surface. Then that's when the camera shows a big one come up and look at them from just under the surface. Then another one swims into view, turns sideways, looks at the guy with the camera as well, and then quickly ducks backwards. And then when it does that, the big one closes its eyes and its mouth facing the camera and flips and swirls away. It looked to me much like how a seal swims. So that's what I drew. To me, it most resembled a seal with a Komodo dragon head on it. It was definitely like a leopard seal head, but much more reptilian than that. Laugh if you want. That's what it looked like. That's what I saw, okay? I didn't see a tail. I didn't see scales. I didn't see gray elephant skin. And so it could have been like a dolphin skin texture, or it could honestly have been that smooth seal fur that smooths out because of the water. I don't know. It was bulky and graceful like a leopard seal. So maybe it's a kind of leopard seal that is really big. I mean, they do get huge, the largest being over 10 feet long and weighing almost 1,200 pounds, but elephant seals get to be 22 feet long, which is more the size of this creature that was in this video, and they can weigh 10,000 pounds or more, and they can hold their breath for 2 hours. The creatures I saw in that video were at least the size of an elephant seal, but it had that reptilian head. And Mooney said it had spots on the inside of its mouth, remember? Well, here you go. That's the inside of a mouth of a leopard seal. Those are the spots that Mooney saw, and that's why I think it's some sort of it's probably a mammal of some kind, not a reptile. So to me, maybe these are some breed of leopard seal that crosses land and also swims up the rivers into the lake from the oceans, maybe a couple of times a year. I don't know. So based on this information, what do you think Champ is? Leave a comment below. Anyway, that is going to do it for this one. Thanks so much for watching. Please leave a like and subscribe to BMO Creative for more crypto videos. Thanks so much. Oh, and by the way, that is a leopard seal looking at someone in some silt. It was stalking this guy, and he turned and saw it, and looks very much like a sea serpent to me. Anyways, thanks so much for watching. Give a subscribe and a thumbs up if you haven't already, and we'll see you in the next one. Thanks. Bye.